AITA for refusing to adopt my dead sister's daughter? She's a problem child and I can't help right now. Even though I know she's going through a lot. This has been weighing on me for weeks. I know this is going to sound harsh, but I really need an outside perspective because my family is ripping me apart over this. So, deep breath. Here goes. I, 34F, recently lost my older sister, Rachel, 38F, in a car accident. It was sudden. No warning. One day she was here, texting me photos of her cat in a baby Halloween costume, and the next she was gone. She left behind her daughter, Lily, 12F. Lily's father has never been in the picture. Rachel never even told us his full name. He signed away rights early and as far as I know, he's not reachable. So now everyone's asking me, expecting me, to take Lily in, permanently. But I said no. And now my whole family thinks I'm a monster. Rachel and I were close growing up, but we drifted apart in our late 20s. She was always more impulsive, more chaotic, but she was also warm and funny and passionate. We loved each other, but we were very, very different people. When Lily was born, Rachel was a single mom working as a freelance photographer. She struggled, financially, emotionally, mentally. Over the years, Lily developed behavioral issues. That's the kind way of putting it. She's been kicked out of 2 schools. She's broken multiple windows during tantrums. She's bit a teacher, yes really. She's stolen things from stores and from family members. She's in weekly therapy, and it's helped some, but the damage is deep and ongoing. Rachel loved her, fought for her, did everything she could, but she also admitted, more than once, that raising Lily was hard and that sometimes she just didn't know what to do anymore. I live alone in a small 1-bedroom apartment. I work full-time as a medical assistant, and I'm recovering from a long-term illness that nearly wrecked me last year. I'm better now, but not 100%. I don't have extra space. I don't have extra money. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to raise a high-needs 12-year-old who just lost her mom. That's not cruelty. That's reality. And yes, I tried. After Rachel passed, Lily stayed with me for 4 days before Child Protective Services placed her with a temporary foster family. During those 4 days, she screamed at me for not being her real mom, punched a hole in my closet door, called my sick elderly cat useless and tried to lock her in the fridge. Yes, I stopped it in time. Took my debit card and tried to order $200 worth of makeup online. I tried to stay calm. I tried to understand. I know she's grieving, but I was also grieving. And the truth is, I was terrified of her. When CPS asked if I wanted to be her guardian, I said no. Not because I don't care, I do. Not because I'm heartless, I'm not. But because I'm not the right person. I've never wanted kids. I've never raised one. I don't have the space, the training, the mental health, or the finances to take this on. And doing so would not be fair to Lily either. She needs someone stable, patient, trauma-informed, and committed. I can't be that person. I wish I could. I hate that I can't. But I'd rather be honest than resent her, or worse, fail her even more. My parents are furious. They're in their 60s and say they're too old to take her in. They're still pressuring me, calling every day, saying Rachel would have wanted you to do this. My aunt called me selfish and said if I cared about blood, I wouldn't let Lily live with strangers. Even my cousin, who hasn't seen Lily in 3 years, said I was throwing her away. No one seems to care that this isn't about me not loving her. It's about me knowing that love isn't enough. Now Lily's still in temporary care, and CPS is trying to find a long-term placement. I feel sick about it. I feel like I failed her. But I also know that taking her in would have likely ended in disaster. I know this might seem cruel. I know this is a hard time for her. But I also know myself, and I know what I'm capable of. I think it would be more cruel to pretend I can take care of her when I know I can't. But my whole family thinks I'm horrible for it. Am I? My sister died suddenly and left behind her 12-year-old daughter. She has severe behavioral issues and is now in foster care. I refuse to adopt her because I don't have the space, money, or emotional stability to raise a child like that. And now my family is treating me like the villain. AITA, update. AITA for refusing to adopt my dead sister's child? My entire family has turned on me. Original post here, not real obviously. It's been 3 weeks since I posted. I didn't expect it to get so much attention. I honestly thought maybe a few people would comment, call me heartless, and I'd log out and go cry into a bag of tortilla chips. But reading through the responses, even the harsh ones, made me realize I'm not crazy for saying no. I'm not the first person in the world who couldn't become a savior on command. And it helped me stand by my decision. Unfortunately, my family did not have the same clarity. Things have gone from bad to biblical. After my post, I went low contact with my parents for a bit. They wouldn't stop calling. They kept texting Bible verses at 2 a.m. My dad sent me a voice memo saying I was abandoning God's plan, and that children are the inheritance of the Lord. Cool. Didn't ask. Then last Saturday they called and said, "We're coming over. We need to talk. We're bringing Lily." I said no. They said, "Too bad. We're already on the way." I panicked. I locked my apartment door, put my cat in the bedroom, and waited. My hands were shaking. They showed up 20 minutes later. I didn't open the door. My mom started yelling through the door. My dad kept knocking. "Lily?" Silent. Then I heard my mother shout, "This is your last chance to do the right thing. If you don't open this door, you are dead to this family." I didn't open it. I sat on the floor and cried quietly until they left. An hour later, I got a text from my cousin, the only one I thought might still be in my corner. "Just heard what happened. Wow. I defended you. I really did. But you are cold." Then she blocked me. The next day, my aunt posted a Facebook status that was obviously about me. Some people hide behind mental health as an excuse to avoid responsibility. Blood doesn't mean anything to cowards. Comments were full of passive-aggressive agreement. My parents liked it. I didn't respond. This morning, I got a call from Lily's caseworker. She told me someone in my family, she didn't say who, had told Lily I refused to adopt her because I never liked her and didn't want to be reminded of Rachel. Let me say that again. Someone told this grieving, traumatized 12-year-old that I rejected her because I hate her and want to erase her mother's memory. I broke down crying on the phone. The caseworker said Lily is shutting down, refusing therapy, won't talk to anyone. Apparently, she tore up a photo of Rachel and hasn't eaten in 2 days. And somehow, they still think I'm the one who's done irreparable harm here. I sent my family one final message today. I did not abandon Lily. I protected both of us. You don't have to agree, but you do not get to lie about my intentions or weaponize a child's grief to punish me. You've made your feelings clear. I will no longer be in contact. I've blocked them all. I've changed my number. I've left a letter for Lily with her caseworker, explaining that I do love her, and that not being able to raise her doesn't mean I didn't care. I told her I'm still in her corner, just not in the way people might want. I left the door open if she ever wants to reach out when she's older. I don't expect her to, and I won't blame her if she doesn't. Now I'm grieving. Again. First my sister, then the niece I practically helped raise. Now my whole family, or what's left of it. But here's the thing no one wants to admit. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes the right thing isn't yours to give. Sometimes being honest about your limits makes you the villain in someone else's story. Even when it's the most compassionate choice you could make. Maybe they'll never forgive me, but I will not set myself on fire to keep them warm. Final update, 4 years later. I refused to adopt my dead sister's daughter. She found me again. It's been 4 years since I told my family no. 4 years since they called me a monster. 4 years since my niece, Lily, was taken into long-term care. 4 years since I locked the door while my parents screamed at me through it. 4 years since I wrote her a letter and handed it to a social worker. The last thing I thought she might ever see from me. This is my final update because, well, Lily found me. And I think you deserve to know what happened. After going no contact with my family, I moved across the state, changed jobs, focused on healing. I got a little cat, a rescue, started hiking, and eventually moved in with someone, my partner now, who's the gentlest soul I've ever met. I kept my world small, safe. I told myself I made the right choice. I still believe I did. But not a single week went by without thinking of Lily. Through small updates I got from the caseworker before she retired, I knew Lily was placed with a foster family that eventually adopted her legally. A couple, Marcus and Dina, no kids of their own, both with trauma-informed training. They moved out of the city, enrolled Lily in a new school, started her in music therapy and equine-assisted therapy. Apparently, horses helped her open up. I never reached out. I told myself, if she wants to find me, she will. And if she doesn't, I'll respect that forever. 3 weeks ago, I got an email from an unrecognizable address. The subject line? Hi, it's Lily. I stopped breathing. She said she found my name in some old papers her adoptive parents gave her. She remembered parts of me, mostly good ones, oddly enough. She remembered baking banana bread. She remembered how I talked softly when she had tantrums. She remembered my old cat. She asked if she could ask me a few questions. I said yes. We emailed back and forth for days. Then we video chatted. She's 16 now. Taller than me. Dyed her hair purple. Has a nose ring. She still talks with her hands when she gets passionate. Still loves animals. Still sharp as hell. She asked, "Why didn't you take me? Did you hate me? Do you regret it?" I told her the truth. Every part of it. The pain. The fear. The unworthiness. How I thought I'd ruin her life if I tried to raise her. How I didn't want her to feel rejected. Even though I know she did. She cried. I cried. "I used to hate you," she said. "I don't anymore." Then she said something I'll never forget. "You were the only adult who ever admitted they couldn't help, instead of pretending they could and screwing me up worse." We're in touch. Slowly. Gently. She calls me her sort of aunt. I call her my always girl. We're not pretending the past didn't happen. She still sees her therapist. I still hold the guilt, even when I know I shouldn't. But we're building something. Not a do-over, something new. She wants to visit in the summer. She says she's curious about who I am now. I told her I'm curious about her too. My parents never apologized. Neither did the rest of the family. I doubt they even know Lily found me. I don't think I'll ever go back to that circle. But I've built a new one. One that includes peace, boundaries, and maybe now her. You were the first people who told me I wasn't evil. You gave me language for something I couldn't explain to anyone else. The impossible grief of doing the right thing that still hurts. Thank you. This is my final update. But if Lily ever tells her side someday, maybe you'll see her name pop up here too. Until then, I'll leave you with the last line of her second email to me. The one that made me cry so hard I dropped my tea. I think you saved me, even if it didn't look like saving at the time.